Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Mills RX, and thank you for stepping into the Ravens Minute Clinic. I'd like to start by giving a shout out to CVS, who has the Health Hub and, of course, the Minute Clinic. They do everything from COVID testing to updates on your medical record to anything that you need. They even do they even do physicals for work and other things, and they even do other things to help you be healthy, just like we're trying to keep the Ravens flock healthy. Now, of course, we all saw the horrific things on last night's game when our starting running back, JK Dobbins, he fell to the turf and he was gripping his knee. Now, this is not good by any stretch of the imagination because the angle at which he was holding his knee, the angle at which he was hit, and where he was hit at his knee is a very bad spot, because one of two things could happen. When the knee bends at that obtuse of an angle, the patella or kneecap actually snaps or actually gets dislodged from the protective cradle that's that's in the thigh. That's in the thigh. Now once that is out of the way, it exposes, you know, major ligaments, because as you know, there's four major ligaments in the knee: the LCL, the MCL, the ACL, and the PCL. Now, where where JK was hit, his knee, it was hit on the anterior side of the knee. That's on the outside side of the knee. And as you can see, as you can tell, he was in a considerable amount of pain, and had to be carted off of the field because of such pain, and he could not put any weight on the knee as well, any weight on his knee. So many sources right here are saying that he could have potentially suffered a major knee injury. We're talking like grade three, said grade three ish, or said from grade two to grade three. Now that's a partial tear or a complete tear, but given how much pain he is and how he had to be helped off, we can't really speculate, but it's looking like a grade three. Some of the major, even an update just now that Jameson Hensley just tweeted that a lot of people fear that J.K. Dobbins could be out for the season, and that's coming from Adam Schefter, who is a major source in the NFL too. Hopefully, hopefully it's just something. It's only grade two in nature and not grade three, because if it's grade three, he will definitely be out like a lot, like a long time. We're talking 9 to 12 months. It Because once that kneecap is out of the way, it exposes those four ligaments. Two mainly that you've probably heard a lot on Twitter. One, the ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament, and the PCL, the posterior cruciate ligament as well too. Now, when the knee bends backwards that way, the the PCL takes the brunt of it, because that helps the knee flex and the knee bend as well. And the ACL, that's a secondary function of the ACL, but also that could be damaged as well too. And many major injuries have happened because the ACL and the PCL are damaged too. See, normally when most people tear their ACL too, a lot of damage or moderate damage is done to the PCL too, because those two are, they're not they're not relatively close to each other, but they share similar function in the knee, helping it flex, helping it, bend, move, and stuff like that. And when the ACL gets partially torn, or even sprained, the PCL is also somewhat compromised as well too. I mean, like say the standout um, observation, or the standout example of this is mainly, as we just saw last one, Joe Burrow. Now, a lot of people say, yeah, yes, he injured both his AC, he tore both his ACL and severely damaged his MCL, but the PCL toward the posterior of the knee also suffered a lot of damage too. So hopefully he doesn't have anything to that extent. But those two are definitely two major areas of concern that we're looking at, and we're hoping not to have found that is not too damaged, hopefully, or we're just really hoping just right now it's just one. Right now, he's currently undergoing MRIs because, as I said, he was undergoing testing. Pretty much, he's going through a complete knee exam, reflexology, all form of radiological imaging. They're probably doing another X-ray, or they did an initial X-ray, but it came up negative, but it wasn't exactly as clean because there's a lot of swelling, as you would expose, a lot of swelling to the surrounding areas and surrounding structures, also to the tissue itself that also was damaged. And there's a whole bunch of inflammation that they had to help reduce. They had to ice it just so they can do this secondary X-ray, or this confirmatory X-ray that they're doing today. Also, they're doing a functional MRI to get a full workup of the knee to see where it is. And hopefully it's not an ACL tear. Hopefully it's not an MCL tear. And just we're awaiting the news on that. But right now it's not very looking very optimistic, as Jeff Cerebrick said. So right now, also I want to update you on two other injuries. Two wide receivers were in the medical tent later in the game. Dion Kane and of course Benjamin Victor. They were they were in the NFL concussion protocol. From what I understand, they're still in the NFL concussion protocol. They were shown to be fine. They're shown to be fine, and I believe they came back on the field. But right now, they're still going to go through a couple of more cognitive testing too. So just consider them day to day. They may be on the practice. They may be on the practice field. So they may return to practice, but as you know, concussions are very serious business. So they're going to monitor them and keep them into the concussion protocol, and they'll probably get medical clearance once they've shown that there is no physical manifestation or no cognitive manifestation of the trauma of the hits that they got, pretty much. So yeah, just like I'm just right now, I'm just scrolling through Twitter. I'm looking at all of the sources. Looking at all the sources right now, they're saying, yeah, but it's not looking good. Everybody's talking about the new top two backs that the Ravens have would be Gus Edwards and Tyson Williams. And yeah, pretty much as I thought, Tyson Williams has locked up that RB3. Well, potentially, hopefully, now RB2 position, because Gus would jump into the starting role. Tyson would be the number two. Once we get Justice Hill back from that ankle injury, he will potentially be the number three. And even now, the Nate McCary, who was pretty much seen as a long shot to make this one, now unfortunately he has a good chance to make the roster based on this. So now all I can say is it's never good to make a roster because of injury, but that gives him a chance to make the roster and potentially get some meaningful snaps because of this injury right here, and hopefully we can get some more word right now. Okay, here we go. Jameson Hensley just retweeted something. Yep, still going through the MRI. It's not looking promising right now. Ian Rappaport, going back now. Ian Rappaport, like I said, everyone fears inside and outside of the Ravens organization that he said that he has a season-ending knee injury. A lot of people are saying ACL. A lot of people saying ACL. That is a possibility. Just like right now, the differential diagnosis between is right now between three different forms, three different conditions that happen to the knee. One, and what hopefully is what we think is, and that will be the best case scenario, would be a grade one knee sprain. Now this is where, as I said, the patella or the kneecap shifted a little bit outside of the cradle, and there was just a lot of swelling and a lot of inflammation around that to the soft tissue around the kneecap to the surround to the tendons and the muscles around the kneecap. Hopefully, that would just be that. And then, if that is the case, he could potentially be out only 3 to 4 weeks, which is the best case scenario at this point. Number two, and would be a grade one or grade two PCL sprain. Now, as I mentioned before, PCL is the is the ligament on the posterior of the knee, the posterior cruciate ligament. Now, because once the knee is juxtaposed or bent in that awkward backwards position, the PCL takes the brunt of it, and it gets very loose. It can also get partially torn and or torn completely in that area. So if we have that form, of thing, or if we have that form of injury, he could potentially be out 4 to 8 weeks. 4 to 8 weeks. So that which will, I don't know, likely put him around week 3 or week 4 if we're lucky. So yeah, that's another one. Number three diagnosis, which is one of the worst case scenarios, would be a complete ACL tear, which is a grade 3 knee sprain, which is a grade 3 knee injury, grade 3 ACL injury, as you were. This is just a complete tear of the ACL, which is unfortunately what LJ Fort is dealing with. That's the same injury that he has. The AC, the ligament, the ACL, one of the major ligaments, pretty much like one of the four main ligaments in the knee. Of course, they have four, but of course, the ACL and the MCL are kind of the ones that are talked about the most because they're the injured the most. But the ACL injury, a complete tear of that one, he would not be able to put any weight on it. It's completely cut or completely severed from the kneecap, and also tremendous pain. There's tremendous swelling, and also there will be some damage to the PCL as well. That could lead to a PCL sprain as well, because once someone has an ACL injury, the PCL becomes very loose, and also it is subject to injury as well. So that is the worst case scenario, and what everyone is fearing: a grade 3 ACL injury, complete tear, which means we'll be putting JK Dobbins on the season-ending IR along with LJ Fort. Hopefully, that is not the case, but that's the worst-case scenario and what everyone fears. So yeah, that's another one. And the fourth one, is also a combination of the two. Is that he has is a complete tear of both of those ligaments, because that will be just a grade three. That would just be known as a grade 3 knee injury, a grade 3 knee sprain, which is with a complete tear of two crucial ligaments in the knee. That will be a complete tear of the ACL and a complete tear or sprain of the PCL. And if that happens, he's going to be out for at least a year, for at least 12 months. So hopefully, anywhere right now, if it's any of these four, best case scenario being a grade 1 knee injury, a grade 1 knee sprain, that would be 3 to 4 weeks. A grade 1 or grade 2 PCL sprain, that will put them out somewhere between 4 to 8 weeks. Now, the grade 3 ACL injury, the complete tear of the ACL, that will put him out 9 to 12 months, and he will be placed on the season-ending IR along with LJ Ford, which would be a complete blow to this offense, just as he was a complete breakout candidate this year, as many people said. But it's all about him and his overall health. He is a key cog in this in this offense. He's a key face and a key player to this franchise's future, and his overall health is very important, not just to the Ravens, but to his family, to the entire NFL, and to all of his fans. And we pray that he has a speedy recovery, and that is not the worst case scenario that it looks like it could be. Hopefully this MRI comes back favorable, and it is not what everyone fears it is. Pretty much, it's I don't even know what to say. It's a real big blow to the flock, and hopefully hopefully he won't be as hurt as people say he is, and I just hope that it's not as bad as we see right now. And I'll be going in a bit more deeper detail on this on Monday. So on Monday on the Ravens Fan Podcast, Raven Fan React Podcast with Mr. Jose Verduzco. So please tune into that, and I'll give a bit more. So I'll give a bit more information on that. Hopefully, this MRI comes back favorable. But right now, he's doing a lot of different things. They're doing another confirmatory X-ray. They're doing an MRI on him. They're doing the Clark test to see if there's any other pain in the anterior side of the knee, also near the posterior side of the knee. They're doing reflexology, seeing if the knee is compromised, or seeing if the range of movement is compromised, which it would be if any of the four major ligaments are hurt, or just if the kneecap itself had shifted and all the inflammation and swelling there. So hopefully, um, we'll have a report for you coming up soon, and also more updates to come. So I wish you all a please have a great day, and please send prayers up to JK Dobbins and his family, because this is a big blow not only to the Ravens family but to the Dobbins family as well too. So once again, I'll go in a bit more detail on this on the Ravens Fan Reacts podcast with Mr. Jose Verduzco on Monday. So please give him a like and give him a follow. And also, if you have any questions or anything you would like to hear on the Ravens Mini Clinic audio segment or this podcast right here, let me know. You can reach me at ravensphysio@gmail.com. That's RAVENSPHYSIO@gmail.com. Thank you so much for tuning in for this special edition. And yep, have a great day. And please send prayers to the Dobbins family. Thank you.